Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, rose from supper and laid aside his garments, took a towel and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. John 13, verse 3 through 5. A well-known church historian has said, though unrecognized as a church sacrament, surely there was never a more impressive one than Jesus' use of the towel at the last meal with his disciples, an act so in keeping with the whole of his life. This observation matches a statement made years earlier by Ellen White. The whole life of Christ had been a life of unselfish service, not to be ministered to, but to minister. This had been the lesson of his every act. But not yet had the disciples learned that lesson. At this last Passover supper, Jesus repeated his teaching by an illustration that impressed it forever on their hearts and minds. Never in the history of the human race has there been a more arresting scene than that of Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. In this incident was revealed the great truth that salvation isn't about what man does for God. Rather, it includes God stooping, humbling himself to serve man. It symbolizes the humiliation of Jesus on behalf of mankind. It pictures God's work for man as an act of cleansing, washing away pride, selfishness, and arrogance. These are the sins that we pick up like dust along the paths of life. In the reaction of Peter, this incident portrays the necessity of our acceptance of grace and love and the kindness of God. What could Jesus have done that would have reflected his godlikeness more perfectly than the simple act of washing his disciples' feet? No sermon could have said so eloquently what Jesus said by an act of love. With sublime artistry and dramatic forcefulness, the Master left in the minds of men the picture of himself, kneeling, towel in hand, before ordinary men, demonstrating love and humility. And as always, think on these things.